Nobody cared when I was weak. That's where we'll start. Not in some fantasy where people support you just because you're trying. Not in a world where effort is enough. No, I started where everyone ignored me. Where my name was a joke. Where every breath felt borrowed and every day was a reminder that I wasn't strong enough to protect anyone. Not even myself. I was the one they overlooked, the one they left behind during raids, the one they glanced at with pity, not respect, the weakest hunter in humanity. Every time I stepped onto the battlefield, it wasn't confidence I carried. It was fear. Fear that I'd fail again. Fear that I'd die before I could become anything more than a burden. And no matter how much I wanted someone to notice the fight inside me, no one ever did. And in that silence, that emptiness, I realized something that would change everything. No one is coming.
The truth is brutal. It's not poetic. It doesn't offer you peace. But it offers you something better. Clarity. No one's going to save you. No one's going to lift you out of your suffering just because you're tired. The world doesn't care about your almosts. It doesn't celebrate your attempts. It only responds to one thing: results. And when I understood that, not just heard it, but truly understood it, everything changed. No one cares how tired you are. No one sees the scars you carry. The world doesn't pause for your pain. It steps on you, crushes you, walks past your broken body, because that's what happens to the weak. They are forgotten, replaced, buried, and I was one of them. But I didn't stay there. I stopped waiting for sympathy. I stopped wishing someone would pull me out of the darkness. The truth is cruel, but it's honest. The only way out is to climb, bleeding, crying, alone if you have to. And when you make peace with that, when you stop resisting the pain and instead begin to embrace it, something inside you wakes up. That's when you start to feel it. The shift. When you stop begging for mercy and start demanding power. When you train, not because anyone's watching, but because you refuse to stay weak. When fear doesn't vanish, but it no longer owns you. When you wake up one more time after thinking you couldn't. You change, you evolve, you become something else, something they can't ignore. They say get stronger. They toss those words like they're simple, like they understand what it means. But getting stronger, is it a moment? It's not a transformation that happens overnight. It's a war. A war against every part of you that's comfortable with being average. A war against the part of you that seeks comfort, approval, and safety. Getting stronger is killing the version of you that flinched, that hesitated, that waited for permission. It's about breaking yourself again and again until what's left is unrecognizable. Not because you became someone new, but because you finally became who you were always meant to be. It's about becoming fire. Not someone who's warmed by it, but someone who survives inside it. You learn to bleed and keep moving, to break and keep building, to fall and stand back up so many times you forget what the ground felt like. So when people say you've changed, you just smile, because they don't know what it cost to become this version of you. They don't know the nights spent in silence. They don't know the moments where you could have given up and no one would have blamed you, but you didn't. They don't know what it means to be forged in suffering. You think I'm strong now. You didn't see the nights I was on the floor, coughing blood, watching teammates die. You didn't hear the thoughts that whispered, "You'll never be enough." You weren't there when I had nothing but broken bones and a will that refused to die. I didn't just wake up strong. I bled for it. I broke for it. I suffered, and I chose to keep going anyway. You think I'm strong now? No. What you see now is the surface, the result. the shadow of the man I had to become. But if you saw the path I walked to get here, you'd understand why I don't speak much, why I don't explain myself, why I carry silence like armor. Because before the strength, before the fear in their eyes, I lived with fear in mind. Every step into a dungeon, I wondered if I'd return. I'd check my gear twice, not because I was careful, but because I was scared. And every time I looked into the eyes of monsters, I didn't see an enemy. I saw a reflection of what I was becoming, of what I needed to become just to survive. Pain didn't break me. It introduced me to myself. And somewhere in the middle of all the dying, all the running, all the blaming myself for not being fast enough, strong enough, something shifted. I stopped apologizing. I stopped asking the world to understand. I stopped seeking anyone's hand to pull me up, because every time I reached out, there was no one there. So I started reaching inward. And there, in the dark, beneath all the doubt and weakness, I found something no one could take from me. Resolve. Not motivation. Motivation fades. It disappears when you're hungry and hurt and alone. But resolve. Resolve remains when everything else is gone. Resolve is what makes you crawl when you can't walk. It's what makes you clench your teeth and move even as blood runs from your body. And even when the voices scream, stay down. And once you taste that, once you know what it's like to fight from the bottom with nothing but raw willpower, you stop fearing death. Because you've already met it. And you didn't flinch. That's when I knew I couldn't lose anymore. Because I'd already lost everything that made me soft. The only thing left was hunger. Not for attention. Not for validation. But for mastery. For transformation. I wasn't born strong, I was forged. In silence, in failure, in the kind of suffering no one claps for. So don't envy the result, understand the process. Because if you want to walk this path, you will bleed, you will break, you will stand alone more times than you can count. But if you can survive the fire without begging to be saved, you won't just become strong, you'll become inevitable. And that's the part people never understand. They want the glory but not the grind. They want the respect but not the pain. But me, I learned to make pain my mentor. I didn't wait for strength. I earned it. With every ounce of suffering, with every scream I swallowed, with every moment I stood back up when my body screamed to stay down. Let them call it obsession. Let them call it madness. Let them call it darkness. They'll never understand, because this isn't about revenge. This isn't about proving something to the world. It's about proving something to myself. That the weak, forgotten, invisible man I used to be, that he was just the beginning. A spark. The first breath before the roar. I needed to meet that version of myself. Because without him, I wouldn't know how far I've come. That weak hunter, the one they all pitied, he died in that dungeon. And from his ashes, something else was born. Something terrifying. Something unshakable. You see, power doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't explain itself. Power walks into a room and everyone feels it. Power doesn't beg, it commands. And now, I don't speak to be heard. I don't fight to survive. I fight because it's who I've become. Because the silence I once feared now follows me, like a shadow. I'm not here to be liked. I'm not here to be remembered. I'm here to rise. To take everything they said I'd never earn. To become the man that no one can break. No one can touch. No one can ignore. Not anymore. Because now, I am the storm. So don't ask for pity. Don't cry for help. Don't wait for someone to carry you. Because in this world, nobody cares. until you win, until you rise, until you become too powerful to be denied, and then they'll ask how you did it. They'll say they always believed in you. They'll beg to stand beside you. But by then, it'll be too late, because you'll be somewhere far above them, too strong to hear the noise below, too focused to look back, too awakened to ever be broken again. So listen to me. Get stronger. Not for them, for you. For the version of you that refused to die. For the one who crawled through darkness with nothing but a broken body and an unbreakable will. For the silence that was louder than every scream. And for the roar you're about to unleash. So, if you're still listening, if something in you moved while the rest of the world stood still, then you already know. This isn't motivation. This isn't some feel-good ending. This is a threshold. And you've either crossed it, or you haven't. Because there is no going back after this. Once you see the truth, once you understand that nobody's coming, that nobody cares how heavy it is, that the world bows only to those strong enough to make it kneel, then the question becomes simple. What are you going to do about it? You either get stronger, or you get swallowed. You either rise, or you stay forgotten. And I promise you, the moment you stop making excuses, the moment you start embracing the pain, the moment you decide that enough is enough, that's when your power begins. Not when they believe in you, not when the timing is right, when you say so. That's what it means to awaken. So don't ask me how I did it. I didn't pray, I didn't wish, I didn't wait. I chose. And now the world remembers my name for one reason. Because I gave it no other choice.
Get our purpose wrapped in pain. They thought I was unlucky. They looked at my life and called it cursed. But I see now, God wasn't punishing me. He was preparing me. He didn't hand me comfort. He handed me conflict. He didn't give me applause. He gave me opposition. And that was the blessing. Not in the form of soft skies or sweet words, but in the form of enemies, in the form of betrayal, in the form of people who wanted to see me fall just because they couldn't stand to see me rise. At first, I didn't understand. Why them? Why now? Why does every room I walk into feel like a test? But now I know. I wasn't born to be liked. I was born to fight, to endure, to sharpen in battle, to carve myself into something steel couldn't imitate. The enemies, they were never in the way. They were the way. Without opposition, the warrior forgets his strength. Without pressure, the soul becomes soft. And I wasn't made to be soft. I was made to carry weight that would break other men's spines. I was made to walk into storms and not beg for shelter, but demand the lightning hit me first. You see, God doesn't test the weak. He doesn't waste trials on the unready. He chooses the ones who already have war in their bones. And that was me. Even before I had the language for it, even before I knew what legacy meant, I had something ancient inside me, burning, roaring, refusing to be silenced. Enemies are loud, but they echo what's already been whispered inside you. When they said I'd fail, I remembered every time I survived worse. When they doubted my steps, I remembered the roads I walked alone. When they tried to bury me, I remembered I grow underground. So to every enemy that came for me, thank you. You reminded me that I wasn't here to coast. I wasn't here to blend. I wasn't here to be another shadow. I was here to make noise, to make fire, to make people uncomfortable. Because because I wasn't afraid to walk with scars. And while they tried to make me question my worth, they only made me dig deeper. They only made me sharper. They only made me deadlier in silence. So now, when I look back, I don't wish it was easier. I thank God it was war, because he knew I wasn't made for ease. I was made to conquer. This isn't about wounds. This is about what survived the wounds, not the pain itself, but what it built. Pain didn't break me. It baptized me. The fire didn't burn me down. It branded me with purpose. They tried to humiliate me. They thought if they cut deep enough, I'd stay down. But I didn't bleed to death. I bled into my next form. Every betrayal, every scar, every fall, none of it ended me. It refined me. And now when I walk into the room, I carry silence like thunder, because people sense it. The difference between someone who's been through battles and someone who just acts tough. See, you can't fake this. You can't imitate the look in a man's eyes who's had to bury versions of himself just to keep walking. They told me to calm down. They told me to be more forgiving. But when you've been through hell and smiled back at it, you don't shrink to make others comfortable. You expand. You erupt. You make sure the world knows you're not like them. The scars aren't my shame. They're my resume. They say, I survived where most would have quit. I stayed when everyone left. I built alone. I broke alone. And I came back louder in silence than most ever will with words. They want you quiet. They want you small, because your scars threaten their mask. They wear peace like a costume. I wear war like a crown. And here's the bitter truth. Most of your enemies will be people who watched you rise and hated that you didn't need their permission. You want to know the difference between them and me. They speak to be accepted. I speak to be remembered. They beg for attention. I command it without asking. Because when you've suffered enough, you stop talking like a victim. You speak like a verdict. They called me broken, but the cracks only showed the fire inside. They mocked my silence, but it was the silence of a man reloading. They thought they saw weakness, but they were just too soft to recognize preparation. I wasn't just tested. I was remade, redesigned by pressure, rewired by darkness, reborn in the places they left me for dead. So when I say I'm standing now, I don't mean barely. I mean taller, stronger, colder. I don't want what they have. I want what they fear. Unshakable presence. If they're watching now, good. Let them watch. Let them whisper. Let them wonder how the man they counted out is now the name they can't forget. Because I didn't run. I didn't break. I stood, and the world bent around me. Every scar, a reminder. Every scar, a badge. Every scar, a silent promise that I'll never go back to being soft. I'm not just healed, I'm armored. I asked for peace. He gave me war. I asked for growth. He gave me pain. And now I understand. The fire wasn't sent to destroy me. It was sent to reveal me. You wanted to see a warrior. You wanted to know what it looks like when a man stops begging for calm and starts embracing chaos. Then look here. Look into these eyes that have seen betrayal up close and still didn't blink. You see, I thought I was being punished, but that was the illusion. What felt like pain was actually purification. The fire didn't come to ruin me. It came to remove what didn't belong. The lies I believed, that I was too small, that I was unworthy, that my story didn't matter. Gone, burned off. The people I trusted, the ones who said forever and vanished in the storm. Good. They were never built for this anyway. Because a real warrior doesn't beg to be understood. He becomes undeniable. You want to know who I am now? I am the storm they tried to escape. I am the mirror they fear to look in. I am the version of myself that only pain could unlock. No more pretending, no more restraint, no more mercy. They used to say, "You're too angry, you're too intense," and now they stay silent because they know that fire isn't rage. It's focus sharpened by suffering. I didn't get here with good luck. I got here dragging myself through hell and refusing to die in it. God knew what he was doing. He didn't give me enemies to torture me. He gave me enemies so I'd realize I'm not one of them. I don't talk like them. I don't fold like them. I don't play for applause. I play for legacy. The fire, it baptized me. It gave me clarity. You can fake kindness. You can fake love. But you can't fake pressure. And under pressure, you either crack or you conquer. I chose to conquer. The ones who laughed, they disappeared. The ones who doubted, they watch in silence now. Because it's one thing to hear about pain. It's another thing to walk through it and never lose your name. I didn't vanish. I evolved. I don't wear armor anymore. I am the weapon now. My words are flame. My presence is smoke. My silence, that's the sound of domination. God gave me enemies so I wouldn't forget that this world doesn't hand you anything. You take it. You fight for it. And if you bleed upward. So now I walk forward with fire behind me and purpose in my bones. Not chasing revenge, not chasing validation, just chasing the version of me who doesn't flinch, who doesn't bow, who doesn't vanish when it's hard. I am not here to be liked. I am here to be remembered by the way I fought, by the way I stood, by the fire that tried to destroy me and ended up setting me free.